And we're back. So there, I got some tips at the end of the last one. I'm assuming they're just extra backstory, explaining why it's everyone's in the same class and why we don't have school uniforms. I don't care that much, so I'll just say continue. Chapter 2. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Reina and Myeon were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Reina and Myeon were already waiting at the meeting place. Oh, they changed their clothes sprites. That's a nice touch. Kei-chan, you're late. Sorry, the show I was watching last time was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mii-chan, you just got here yourself. Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Reina was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mina answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Reina really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Reina pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it. Okay, got it. She's been like this since last night, you know. Can't you take responsibility for this? Alright, I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Responsibility? For what? For what? As we both turn around slowly, look at Reina. Okay. Someone called me and then immediately hung up. Cool. As we both turned around slowly, looking at Reina, our gazes drifted downwards to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes. Except this is Reina we were talking about here. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Reina was picking up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I'd say 5. You're exaggerating. Kei-chan's a boy after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going! Heave-ho! Just from the way she was lifting up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction, I say 5 kilos too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if we make Reina sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existed during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on the weekend out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you'd be Mayabara-kun, I believe. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everyone we ran across. All of these passerbys even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there are so few people here. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Mayabara fellow who just moved here. Yeah, pretty much. It is a process of elimination you can only pull off in a place like this, but it was quite effective. From now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good reputation. The day I discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I could expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takazo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flutes. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobby is sharpshooting and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Miyo-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we pass by and their profiles? Seeing my surprise, Mia and Reina exchanged looks that burst into laughter. Well, yeah, we're not like the city where people hardly know their neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? Who am I?
Haha, you're Keiichi Mibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person.
It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby is taking afternoon naps. Lately, you switched over to wearing boxers. How the fuck would you know that? Didn't you? Okay, that's TMI. TMI.
Boxers.
Said TMI. Apparently, there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa was not a place to be trifled with. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around.
That's right.
We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa! The population of Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody who's new here. I thought about brushing off with something to the effect of your Keimu, but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who just moved in saying like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We'd passed another person. Of course, we were called out to again the same way.
Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along.
This lady here is Fujishimi-san. Good day.
Oh my, Mibara-kun, how wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you?
Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like, what events I respond with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled and voiced her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good! As I looked back over to Rena and Mion, they gave me a wink.
So now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Maybe?
Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can. But it's just too much. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave this to the old man. Man never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expect no less from the class rep. Reina, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view.
Well, yes, good idea, I agree.
Reina nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Cresting on top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling.
This here is Farood Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around.
This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi is a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming the festivals had to be held in the summer.
Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there.
Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. It sure did smell delicious. It was Reina's home cooking. It went without saying that it would be delicious. Was it even possible to finish all this? Hey Mihan, it'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know.
Good afternoon.
It is Rika-chan and Sadako. Why are they here? Mian grinned over at me. I see, this was her secret plan. To power numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty.
We just had such a commotion. What is the meaning of this?
Take a look, it's time for lunch, buffet style. Handmade gourmet meal made by Reina.
I can see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property?
The temple is public grounds, it's not yours.
Keiichi's right. This is everyone's property. Wow.
Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening a spot for Rika-chan, I promptly turned my back on Sadako.
Hold on one second. Where's my spot?
No spot for you and nothing for you to eat.
Then don't worry, there's some for you too. No.
None. I'll eat all of hers.
I will not allow it, Rika!
Here, chopsticks. Both Sadako and I left at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really, Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Is that a compliment? Have a plate, one from each.
Have a plate, one from each Chan and Rika-chan too.
Rain whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, you'll all be eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle?
Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone.
Reina said as she opened up a thermos. Just then, realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different.
I will not allow you to have this hamburger.
Using your elbows against the rules, Sadako.
Grabbing the back of my car is also against the rules.
It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening move. Sadako appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand.
Ah, the last meatball!
Sadako Hoju has been bested. Now. Sadako and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Rikichan patted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Seeing that made a rush, Reina blushed and breathed heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Reina to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era?
It seems that long
ago people ate in silence. It must have been preparing food a bit sad, don't you think?
It's sad because back then people were busy even while eating and didn't have time to compliment the flavor.
That's just you.
Actually, no, just hearing that's gonna makes me happy that my effort was worth it, I mean.
She blushed a little as she said that.
It was delicious.
With absolute perfect timing, Rikichan struck Rin directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. As Reina uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rised from her head with an audible poof.
Oh, Rika-chan, I'm going to take you home. I mean, thank you. It was really delicious.
Reina flushed with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against her so hard you could almost hear it.
To reward Rika-chan for her praise, ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. As you're sticking toothpicks into them, she
thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Sadako? What's with that defiant look?
Is everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Reina-san?
Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab?
Ho ho ho! Well then, allow me to show you.
After Sadako flashed me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly.
Hey, so right now Ni-chan's lunch? Sadako thought it was yummy too.
Sadako looked at her proudly while talking cutesy. Wow, how is that praise? That's not even a persuasion by tears, that's persuasion by cuteness. This is Reina Limited's special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Reina!
Oh, how?
She seriously reminds me of Temi with this. Of course, I was asking for the impossible. Reina glomped Sadako and began rubbing her cheek against her.
Cute! Sadako is so cute! Take you home, how?
Swish! Stab! Push! Sadako was also presented with apple rabbits. As her stuck them into her mouth, she looked over at me again with that defiant gaze. It took only 5 seconds to take down Reina. That's unfair to think she had such a trick.
If you obsess you so much, why not reward Reina-san with some praise?
Damn it, that was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. Sadako, you think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan's going to be the one who does it. What? Ho ho ho! Why don't I have you...
Why don't I have you show me then? The writing of an old maid.
The plan of attack she suggested was wicked, but was the only thing we had to beat Sadako. After sipping my tea, I started talking, very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right?
Ah, no, actually most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff.
Then which ones did you make fresh?
Well, it's embarrassing. Do I really have to say, must I?
From a synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Rain turned an even deeper shade of red. The words, I can't believe it, practically written on her face.
How can you tell? How that I made it?
Of course, Mian had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. It had your smell. Oh god. That's either going to work wonderfully or fail fabulously. Silence. Reina, face still, completely fried frozen solid. With a small yelp, Salco also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Reina's handmade apple rabbits or something. If this was all because I was competing with Salco, it felt like I crossed the line by a good 9 yards. Then, at that moment, boom! It's a Tupperware container filled with rabbits.
Please eat some Kashika! That's funny for you!
Instantly, dozen apples were shoved in my mouth, knocking me over. Okay! Ah!
Okay, say Kashika!
My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, even more apples were shoved into my mouth while she was squealing. One apple another was forced into my mouth. More and more. Apples! Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Sadako? This is our complete victory, isn't it?
I can't believe it! Such trickery! It doesn't bother me at all.
Sadako ground her teeth, mortified. We did it! I claimed victory as my conscience slowly drifted away from me. At that time, Rain stopped her squint as she suddenly realized something. And you'll find out what in the next episode. Save. If you enjoyed me talking, like, comment, subscribe. Yada yada yada. Words. And until next time, stay humble.